It's that time of month again. I cannot even believe we're at the end of January 2023. Lots to cover in this month's end of month wrap up. I want to do another bit of a little recap from 2022 because the local stats just came out for the year. Even though we kind of already covered it, but just some more details I want to go over today. And then more detail regarding the end of December and final numbers that came out, because they get released on the 23rd of each month, just so you know. And also just some interesting facts about Sarasota. So today's video is going to be more hyper focused on just Sarasota versus going into some national stats. So I'm excited to share with you what has transpired in the last few months and also looking into the year ahead. Stay tuned. All right, let's just get down to it. So, all right, sales last year were down 23.9%. And if you remember in my last video when we were recapping November sales were down 50%. So when we take it as a whole now, it was down 23.9%, right? So what we saw was the beginning half of the year, I would say till end of May, which was Memorial Day weekend, it was hopping and a bopping. Okay, and then as soon as Memorial Day weekend hit, it was a very noticeable, we felt it shift. And so I feel like the sales being down was definitely reflective of the second half of the year. So 23.9%, nothing to fret about because I'll get into why and all that stuff. So let's see. Now, that being said, our best month was actually in August, which is funny because the sales that we procured earlier in the year, like closer to the middle of the summer, ended up selling in August. We actually did about 8 million in closed transactions. And as an office, we did really well too in August, but that's just an aside. That's just one agent out of how many thousand agents, right, in our local market. But just an interesting tidbit there. The median sales price is still up year over year, and it's at about $493,000 for the median for the entire year. And again, when I'm giving you stats, just as a reminder, I look to Sarasota County single family homes because it's just a more stable indicator of the market, whereas the condo, townhome, villa market tends to be more volatile, historically speaking, over time. Okay, and yes, so it's up year over year 24%, 24.5% in value in a year. Where else are you going to have that type of return? I don't know. I've definitely not in the stock market the last year, right? It's been like so bipolar. Real estate is good over the long term. What we saw over the last 2 years is just nothing. It's nothing normal, but 24.5%. I'd say invest in real estate. Carrying on, Dr. Yun, chief economist for the National Association of Realtors, says, quote, inflation has been dropping for the last 6 months, so rates are expected to follow. And we've already seen that over the last few weeks. Rates are, coming in the downward, which is great. And we're seeing reflective of that. We're also seeing, some more inventory, which we'll get into. But also the builders are offering more incentives, and I'm seeing about a $15,000 credit for buyers, kind of as the general number, I should say, for the builders giving the buyers a credit. And that credit will come in if you use their on-site mortgage folks. If you use cash to purchase, it tends to be a little bit less. But a $15,000 credit, and you can use that to buy down your interest rate or, offset your closing costs. And I did talk to a builder last week about this specifically. And I did ask if they can be utilized for like upgrades and stuff like that. So I don't think that that's a possibility for most builders, unless you're looking at a custom build maybe. So it's going to be case by case according to each builder and what they have to offer. So that was interesting. And, I will say that when you do build new construction and a builder's offering that kind of incentive, it's really hard to compete with like a local preferred lender, because what the builder does is they buy loans in bulk and they are able to discount the rates and pass those on to their potential buyers. So it's really hard to compete as much as we always still. See, I'm a working girl. And sorry the interruption. Anyway, let's keep going. And what was I saying? Yeah, so it's hard to compete. And, you know, we always try to give business to our lenders, always. And sometimes it's just not the right thing for the client. It's always good to shop regardless. Oh, another fun fact, people ask about the distress sales. So the foreclosure and short sale sales in the whole year now, we're still looking at the whole year, it was only 0.3% of total sales. Guys, I don't know about you, but I'm not seeing indicators of a crash because we have 1,000 people a day net moving to our Sunshine State. So now we are watching this stuff really closely. I mean, I look at this stuff daily, hourly, minute by minute. And Shayla knows, she's behind the camera. And so trust me, I will be the first to alert you if we start seeing trends toward, you know, something more concerning. So we're going to find another spot to move to and continue. Moving on. Isn't this lovely? Gosh, there's so many great like little streets and houses here. Okay. All right, let's cover December stats now. Just looking at the December 2022 numbers, sales were down just for the month now 34%. Okay. And values for single family homes were up 16% year over year. Now, last December was really kind of insane. Also, if you want to put things in their perspective, which I like to do, last December 2022, we had 0.6 months level of inventory. That is insanely low. It's so crazy for a buyer. It's crazy for a seller. It's crazy for an agent. It's crazy for everybody. And, you know, it's just not sustainable. And I, quite frankly, you know, I'm glad that that's no longer because it was too crazy. It's too stressful. You know, and you try to please everybody. Someone's upset always. And it's just, I'm glad that's passed. All right, so as we ended the month, we were at about a 2.5 month level of inventory. I thought we would go up to more of a 3-month level inventory like Manatee County saw, but we're still hovering at that 2.5 months. I feel like some sellers are going to be on the fence for whatever reason. You know, they have a really low rate and they don't have a reason to sell, but people sell every day, people close every day, people get married, divorced, they have kids, you know, the list goes on. Anyway, so for me to say the inventory went up 316% for the month over month year, you know, December is kind of makes it sound more dramatic than it is, right? Anyway, so that's that listing. Okay, so then December last year was 100% of asking price was received at contract. So there's no negotiation, which is it's not healthy, you know. And now we're at about, it's windy, we're at a more healthy 96.4% on average. So from the list price to the contract price, much more healthy. In a normal market, we usually see 94 to 95% of the asking price that is ending up to be the closing price. So we are inching back to stability, folks, which is a very good thing. Let's shift gears. Let's go find another place and we'll shift gears. On another note, the Sarasota Manatee County area's rental rate continues to show growth, increasing in the rental market prices that they're getting compared to the rest of the country that's sort of starting to see a shift toward lowering the rates. So I could speak to that personally, as many of you know, we've done a video on this before and after property that I bought. If you go into the VRBO app as an owner or a host, it'll ask you to increase or lower the rents based on the demand according to the algorithm. So when I go in there, I go into the VRBO app and it's constantly saying increase my price because it goes by the day and the time of year and the time of the week. So I go in there and it's like it keeps going up, and you know there's properties being rented for more, and probably the rental rate will go up even, you know, in the next few months and next year certainly. So I'm seeing it personally, and that's just a testament to how beautiful our area is and how attractive it is for a lot of people. And speaking to that, rents in Sarasota are up by 46.9% since March 2020. Guys, other states were closed. We were open. We have sunshine. We have beaches. And sunlight, vitamin D, kills a lot of germs and it kills bacteria, and it's good. And it's good to be out in the sun. And not to mention, being back from Wisconsin, I know, because it's not a lot of sunshine. Not to mention, it can be depressing. So just for that sheer fact alone, it's brought people down here, right, when the other states were closed. So that is really, it's shocking, but it's not, I guess. Also, our Sarasota Bradenton International Airport is seeing some massive change because of the demand for people wanting to fly in our beautiful little airport. So we have an addition being built on our airport, and that is supposed to be bringing in, well, it is bringing in about 400,000 passengers a month. Okay. I actually have a couple friends that work at the airport that go to my gym. And so we talk, we shoot the breeze, we're working out. And he said back in the day, we saw about 5,000 passengers per month. That's like I don't even know the percentages of growth over that period of time. It's 400,000. So by the end of completion of the expansion on the airport, which is slated to be finished in 2025, we are expecting from this year's 4 million guests per year to approximately 7 million. Where are we going to put y'all from Wisconsin and Indiana and Ohio? We will find a way. I'm a resourceful realtor in Sarasota. But I just thought that was incredibly staggering. Let's find another spot to carry on. All right, next up, let's go over like what I'm specifically seeing and maybe a little bit of my crystal ball predictions. Okay, so obviously we're leveling off and we're getting back to some stability. I've heard from several podcasts. I listen to a variety of podcasts, like from the time I basically get up until the time the phone starts ringing. And what I'm hearing is we're going to see a little bit of up and down, maybe a little bit of quiet up through like spring. And then there's going to be like this explosion of demand. I feel like we're at the end of January here, of course, in 2023, and I feel like we're already kind of starting to see it. Like we've gotten busier. We were getting the phones ringing more. So us personally in my office, I feel like we have a lot of listings on the board. So it'll be interesting to see what the stats are come end of January when they come out as far as inventory. Luxury is in full swing. It's all the stuff I always say, like the waterfront, the move-in ready. It doesn't even have to be waterfront. If it's move-in ready, if it's beautifully updated and you're on the mainland, it's going to sell faster. But price still matters. Price it in that sweet spot. Even if you price it just under appraised value or approximate appraised value, you will sell it, and you might even still sell it for over asking. So that is, no matter what, island side is location. You can't change that. You can always update the interior. Another interesting thing, and I'm not so mad about it, is I like to be a second or third agent on a listing. We are becoming the second or third agent on a listing more and more right now. I am second on one coming up, and also two coming up actually. So I think it's good to have fresh eyes, someone with experience. The new agent, sorry, I love a new, excited agent. I was new once as well, so I know the struggle. But when you're new, you only know what you know. And with experience, you want someone that's experienced in a shifting market. And when I say shift, I mean more competition for your house. Okay. And marketing and experience matter. So I'm happy to be the second or third agent on a listing, but that's trending. As I already said, price still matters. We're starting to see properties 60 days, 180 days and on the market. And, that takes some pivoting as well. And again, are you with the right agent representing you? Is it the property? There's a lot of things to cover with that, but I digress. So what I'm thinking is prices, of course, will start to stabilize a little. We are in a really hot area though. So as you can see, they've gone up in the last year. What I might see, or we might see, is maybe back down to single digit increases. I don't know, maybe 10%. I don't know. It's nobody's going to know. Nobody can predict. It's like the stock market. You know, nobody can predict where things are going to head. So it'll be interesting nonetheless. Here's an example of what I mean when you work with someone that has a lot of experience. Staging a property. It could be from painting a room to moving furniture, virtual staging. It could be, like, for example, last weekend I went to my, I have a listing coming up, and I went and met with the seller, and we spent a few hours staging on a weekend because, you know, during the week it's too much, and I didn't want to feel rushed and then have the photographer come. So anyway, so I enjoy that. I feel like for me it's a little bit of a creative outlet, and I love placing things so that they look absolutely perfect, because first impressions, not just in real estate, but, you know, life, are important. And that's just like an added little thing. I don't charge extra for that. I'm getting my commission, right? Because I'm going to sell the listing because it's staged. So just the extra things that we like to do for our clients, and it helps them, it helps us, and we all feel like better about the process, right? So I know that was a lot, as it always is, and these monthly end of month wrap ups, but I'm here to advise you. And, you know, I'm always here to discuss your real estate needs if you have any. And I thank you for watching and subscribing. Click that bell so you never miss another one. And click the link below, shaylatwit.com.